This video explains how to set up the start timer and the starting line. Within the Race tab of the Tactix iOS app, you can switch between performance mode and starting mode by vertically swiping across the number fields. Swipe up to get to starting mode, and down to get back to performance mode. In the starting view, use the Set button to select the start time countdown. Use the Select Course button to set up your race course. You can define a windward-leeward course, create an ad hoc course from existing marks, and select a predefined random leg course. To create a windward-leeward course, select the corresponding item. In the dialog, first select the type of finish. The left button initiates a downwind finish setup, the right button an upwind finish. Select the number of legs. In this example we choose 4 legs, which is equal to 2 laps. Then use a 2-finger rotate gesture to turn the compass rose to the heading to the weather mark as provided by the race committee, and pan upwards or downwards inside the rose to adjust the distance. Optionally, you can set an offset between the start and the leeward mark. A positive offset means the leeward mark is above the start. A negative offset means the leeward mark is below the starting line. Once you have all values adjusted, tap Done. Alternatively, like in this example, you can select a predefined random leg course. Here we choose the Tactix Demo Regatta as our event. From this regatta, we then choose the Upwind Start course that has previously been defined in our Tactix.io account and synchronized to the device. Next we will set up the starting line by pinging each line end. You can ping the line ends in any order. A line bias with 3 dashes indicates that no line end has been set yet. Motor or sail over to the pin end of the line and align your GPS antenna with the pin. Then tap the pin button to save the position. The line bias will change to 2 dashes to indicate that one end has been set. Then motor or sail over to the committee boat end of the line. Align your GPS antenna with the orange flag on the committee boat, and tap the boat button to save the position. The line bias will now show you the bias of the starting line. If you are starting upwind or downwind, the line bias is shown in degrees and indicates the delta between a line square to the wind direction and the actual line angle. If you are starting on a reaching course, the bias is shown in meters and indicates the delta in distance of either line end to the first mark. Again, you can ping the line ends in any order. If the committee changes the pin or boat position, just repeat the procedure for the line end that has changed. A confirmation dialog will ask you whether you want to change the line to avoid accidental line position changes. The Tactix app automatically accounts for the distance between your GPS antenna and the bow of your boat when calculating the distance to the starting line. When you ping a line end, align your GPS antenna with the pin, respectively, boat position. To start the countdown, tap the Start button at the top. Once the countdown is running, you can use this button to synchronize the timer to the next full minute. You can also long press the start timer numerical value to adjust the running countdown up or down in 1-minute steps. By vertically swiping up across the wind history graph, you can switch to the bird's eye view of the starting line. This view shows you the starting line and your boat's relative position, the ley lines to get to either end of the line, and the estimated time to reach along the line from end to end. Swipe back down to get back to the wind graph. The time to line is based on your boat's VPP polar data, and accounts for whether you are sailing towards the line or away from it. We also apply a performance penalty during the pre-start phase, as boats are typically not at 100% performance when maneuvering below the line, turning more frequently, and sailing in close proximity to a number of other boats. The yellow arrow towards the bottom of the view indicates the surface current. 1 arrow indicates weak current, increasing up to 3 arrows indicating strong current. The time to line calculation includes the surface current's effect on your speed over ground to the line. Once the gun goes off, the numerical view automatically switches to the performance mode, and the bird's eye view changes to leyline mode. This mode shows you the estimated time to each leyline if you sail at 100% of your target speed. You can also find the expected true wind angle for the next leg to help you plan for any sail changes at the next mark. In the performance view on the left, you can find metrics for how much you are lifted or headed against the trailing average wind direction, and how close you are sailing to the target up or downwind angles of your boat. For monitoring your speed performance, we offer tracking your actual speed through water, or your VMG, against your theoretical VPP polar data. The auto performance metric will automatically switch to speed through water against targets for upwind legs, and VMG against targets for downwind legs. You can also choose to display the absolute delta of your actual speed versus your VPP target speed. Any of the numerical fields can be changed to display the data you prefer. Just long press a field, and select the metric you would like to see. The widget in the upper middle shows you the sequence of marks for the active course. The next mark is highlighted in orange or yellow, depending on whether it is a permanent mark, such as a channel marker, or a temporary floating mark that has an approximate position associated. If the course is changed, you can long press any mark button in the list to change the active next mark. A double tap in the mark list widget temporarily doubles its size for readability on smaller displays. The circular widget below is a summary view of your boat's angle to the wind versus the next mark. The inner white arrow shows the true wind direction, whereas the outer orange arrow indicates the direction to the next mark. This gives you immediate feedback about the difference between your velocity made good against the wind versus against the course when the current leg is not aligned with the wind direction.